Hi, folks. Good evening. Welcome to Prophecy Montana podcast. My name is Carrie. I have my lovely wife with me, Lisa.
Hi.
And we've got a great title for this this evening's talk tonight. It's the American Way, Trump, the American Way, and the rise of Christian nationalism. And you guys may or may not know, but Christian nationalism is and has been playing a large role in all of the prophetic unfoldings of recent times.
One world order.
Yeah, well, they've always gone for a one world order, Lisa. But the thing of it is it's really, I think they've given up on it because God had really kind of prophesied in Daniel that they shall not cleave one to another. They will never join, the countries of Europe and America,
cleave,
they will not cleave one to another. And Hitler tried it, Mussolini tried it, and many others have tried it, and it just hasn't really worked out very well because once God prophesies something, you can take it to the bank. But hi, Reformation, how you doing?
Reformation.
Nice to have you join us. And we're going to have a great evening, great discussion, and it's going to be very, very. We're going to get into the Bible a little bit as well. Watchman just joined us, and how you doing, Watchman? It's always so much better with the Watchman and with Reformation. And boy, I tell you, we miss each and every one of you guys when you guys aren't here. But we're gonna pray first, and then we're gonna go. Now we've gone through Revelation 17 multiple times in the last, in these recent lives recently. But we're gonna hit a few of these verses in Revelation chapter 17. The woman rides the beast, basically, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how the Christian nationalism plays into what Revelation is talking about here, and how I believe. Now we've made some predictions, early or late in the last year before, Donald Trump was inaugurated, saying that he would bring peace. And I think a lot of the Republicans had expected peace and expected Donald Trump to bring peace. Well, peace did not happen. And in fact, the opposite has taken place. And wars have broken out and rumors of wars. And there's all of these conflicts that have erupted across the globe. And they're very serious. If Russia and China and America get into it, it's going to be World War III. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I'll tell you why here in a minute. But what I do think is going to happen is also what we're going to be talking about. So, let's go ahead and bow our heads, and then we'll go to Scripture. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to witness for you, Lord. And we just thank you for everyone who joins tonight. We ask a special blessing on them as well. And we'll ask that you'll also temper our speech, that which we say is holy and true and good, Lord, in your sight. In your name we pray, amen. So, all right. Yeah, they will cry peace, but there shall be no peace, Reformation says. And and that is the final cry right before sudden destruction, isn't it? Peace and safety, they'll say, right before things fall apart. And, we're watching the weather start to speak to us, and that's kind of how I've seen it. Is the weather is speaking to us. It's kind of trying to tell us something about the signs of the times that we're living in. And I know that some people have said that these are man-made, and they very well could be.
Kind of like that thing that's out in space. They're saying it's shooting lasers at the sun. I started laughing about that because I was thinking, the sun is so hot. What is a laser going to possibly do?
Okay, so I personally think this is hype. I think they're trying to, pardon the pun, trump up a story about an alien invasion. Now, they've been talking about this for years in the secret circles and stuff, and so dark web kind of discussions. Okay, Watchman, speaking of discussion, he says, discussion today was the two churches that are in Revelation that make it the Church of Smyrna and the Church of Philadelphia, and how they are handled differently. Those are good discussions, too.
Yes.
Those seven churches give us the seven church ages, and also the condition of different churches, even in the day and age that we live in today. The Church of Smyrna doesn't appear that they're doing very well, so they go through a time of testing, as the Church of Philadelphia is kept from the hour. And these are all interesting prophetic insight to probably the last these last days that we live in. I know that that they do play a big role in Jeremiah 6:14 and 15 is what Watchman is quoted there. But yeah, no, I think it's a big hoax, Lisa, but the spacecraft itself, so-called, or, well, it's a piece of debris or whatever it could be, or maybe it's nothing, and maybe they're just making the story up because they can say whatever they want, put a picture out there, and everybody's going to believe it.
And it's a diversion tactic too, you know?
Bingo.
They want to just put all these supernatural things. If you're believing in aliens, then you're definitely not believing in God at that time.
Bingo.
So it's a diversion.
Bingo. And some have even surmised that it could be the end of the world. And it says, Watchman says the object could be what resembles a mountain, Revelation 8. Okay, usually when we're talking about mountains in the Bible, especially, let's go to Revelation 8. I don't know, do you have the verse on that? Because oftentimes when it talks about a mountain, talking about the kingdom of God. I know that was true in Daniel when the rock struck the figure in Daniel chapter 2 at the feet and then destroyed it and became as chaff in the summer threshing floor. And then up from that grew a great mountain. The Reformation has reminded us that we are now in the church of Laodicea, neither hot or cold. And that is so, so very true. I see it in my own life. I see it in the life of others. It's a very scary place to be. We don't want to be there, but we are prophetically there. And there's not really, there is a lot we can do, but actually it gives us the antidote right there in, and I believe, what is that, Revelation chapter 2 there, or 3. I know it goes down into chapter 3 there, where it talks about the antidote being eye salve and to purchase gold tried in the fires. And if you look up that word gold, it's actually describes gold being our faith tried in the fires of affliction. And the fires of affliction is when affliction rises and our faith points us towards trusting and believing in Christ and getting us through that little time of trouble, that whatever it may be that we're in. So, I'm not seeing that.
Verse 8.
Yeah, chapter 8. Without really going through every single.
Yeah, the Chattanooga flooding. I saw that.
Yeah, Chattanooga flooding. Chattanooga has been flooding. But, let's go back to the original here. So we're going to go to chapter 17. And now, of course, this is the chapter where it talks about the woman riding the beast here. And so it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Now, again, just a real quick summary on Bible prophecy. If you take Daniel, it begins in Daniel chapter 2, believe it or not. But Daniel chapter 2 shows the metal man, head of gold, arms and chest of silver, thighs of brass, legs of iron, feet of iron and clay. These would all represent kingdoms. Now, of course, it says, Daniel tells King Nebuchadnezzar that you, O king, are that head of gold. That pleased the king. But then after Daniel told him, after thee will arise a nation inferior to thee, he didn't like that message, and that's why he made the golden image that was all of gold. See, he was going to thwart the prophetic vision with that golden image. And, when you're at the Emmys Awards, when you're watching the Emmy Awards, what do they give people? No other than a golden image, right? Just like
and then they say,
I'd
like to thank Satan.
They literally do. They literally do.
Yeah.
Yeah. As they're displaying their proud little trophy there, they'd like to thank Satan for it. Yeah. So when we start with Daniel chapter 2, and then it jumps into Daniel chapter 7, it gives a little bit more detail of those same empires. And the lion, of course, with wings is undoubtedly Babylon, because that was and still is the symbol of Babylon. Hi, Tracy Bronson. How you doing? And then you have Medo-Persia, which is represented by the bear, and then you have Greece, which is represented by the leopard with the 4 wings. The 4 wings were symbols of the 4 generals, and then you have a dragon-like beast. And so then in Daniel chapter 8, you have even more definition. It drops 2 more names. It drops Medo-Persia and Greece through the rough goat and the ram. And remember, when the rough goat smote the ram, perished as a young man, but his 4 generals would take over. And in the vision of Daniel, 4 horns would rise up in the place of that one. And then as we fast forward into Revelation 13, it actually, Revelation 13 gives us another perspective, because it ends in Rome and at the, and that terrible beast with the horns and the head, like a dragon, and it had the 10 horns, and then 3 were plucked up. The Ostrogoth, the Heruli, and the Vandals were three barbarian tribes that existed during the time of the Roman during the time of the Roman Empire. But then there was the pagan Roman Empire, and then I'm stumbling a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. It transforms into the Holy Roman Empire by the time we get to chapter 13 of Revelation, and that's where it picks up into the Holy Roman Empire. And so then it goes from the Holy Roman Empire, then the fall of the Holy Roman Empire in 1798, to the rise of America, which is the 2-horned lamb, the lamb-like beast that came up out of the earth.
Like a dragon.
That would later speak like a dragon. And that's what we're seeing the earth, or this lamb-like beast do now, which I very much believe is America. All right, so Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, and then we go to Revelation 13, and then we pick it up in Revelation 17, and it gives us more detail on this last day power that would rise up in the last days. Remember, nothing new, only more detail. We had everything we needed back in Daniel chapter 2. It's just that Daniel chapter 7 gave more detail. Daniel chapter 8 drops 2 names, Medo-Persia and Greece. And of course, the iron monarchy of Rome would be represented by the legs of the image of Daniel chapter 2. And also the iron teeth. You see here in Revelation 13 that it had all the characteristics, right, of the beast in Daniel chapter 7. Okay, check that out. It's very interesting. So there's something that it gives you some clues there to be able to connect those dots. Now, in Revelation 17 here, we're talking about the church, right? Pagan Rome. And now it's kind of switched from Rome to the church. But it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. The part I left out there was in Revelation 13, where the beast would receive a deadly wound. When the papacy, and I forget, was it Benedict or help me out here, Reformation, which one of the popes was in power during 1798 when Berthier took him captive and threw him into prison? This was the beast receiving its deadly wound, but yet lived, okay? And then the beast wounds were healed sometime around when just shortly after Lincoln's memorial was built, because they would give a large chunk of marble to America. And at first we rejected it, but then eventually they accepted it. And that was considered a peace treaty, and also the healing of the deadly wound. Now the beast has been rising into power and rising into power. We've seen the papacy rising into power. All the dignitaries of the world go and kiss the ring of the Pope. And that's very significant because there's no other church like it on earth. Okay, and really what it's describing here is a Pope Pius VI. Yeah. Thank you, Reformation. That is excellent. Excellent. Said, so he carried me away in the spirit, we're in verse 3, into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. Remember, a woman represents a church, a scarlet-colored beast. Now, don't let that throw you off, because the beasts in Daniel were actually deciphered as being kingdoms or kings, right? This is a scarlet-colored beast. It's a purple
Which is papal.
nation. It's it's papacy, right? And it's going to give a lot more clues here, too. Sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of the names of blasphemy. That's interesting because this church claims that somebody in the church claims that they're God and they have the power to forgive sins.
They're pious.
And
blasphemous.
That is the definition of blasphemy according to the Bible.
Upon the
throne of God, saying that He is God.
Yeah, that's it.
That's in like 2 Thessalonians or something like that.
It's also in Revelation.
No, you're thinking of 2 Thessalonians.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, and that's a great verse too, because that ties into what we're talking about. The man of sin, who sits on the throne of God saying that he is God. Well, there's only one man on the earth that does that. Okay. And he claims to be sitting on the throne of God. Now that's his claims. Okay, so, and it says, the scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, okay? Now, those 7 heads, we would later find out in the same chapter that those were 7 mountains upon where the woman sitteth.
Which is the 7 mountains around Rome.
Yes, just look up the city of 7 hills, guys, and it'll tell you right there. Now, let me see here. And the woman was arrayed in purple, scarlet. There's some color codes there. Purple, scarlet.
Which is papal.
Yeah. And decked with gold and precious stones. She's very rich. And pearls, having a golden cup in her hand. You ever seen the papal coin? The official money of the papacy? It's a gold coin. It shows a woman with a cup in her hand, going just like that. Okay? Describes it almost to the T. And it says it's full of the abominations, the filthiness of her fornication. Fornication is code talk for going after other gods, okay? Not the God, but other gods. And upon her forename was written mystery, Babylon the Great. Okay, it's a mystery. Babylon the Great. Remember, we deciphered the word Babylon means Bab-El, the door to God. Babylon, the city of the door to God. Now, Lisa, we didn't mention this last time, but she reminded me after the live that Babylon literally means confusion.
It's confusion.
Yeah. So if you really break that composite word down, it's the city to the door of God that leads to confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he scrambled all the languages, and they all went to different regions of the world. Yeah. Yes. In the original Tower of Babel, that was where God looked at displeasure upon the people. And he scattered them across the nations. He confused their languages, and it was called Babel. And that, well, maybe it was called Babel, but that word was later used to describe confusion. And that's the word we use today. You know, when babies speak babble? Yeah.
When they babble. And I saw the woman, this church, drunken with the blood of the saints. There's only one persecuting power that fits this description, guys, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? And John is marveling because he sees the church persecuting the people. This is why he marveled, because at the time that he was alive, it was pagan Rome that was persecuting the church. And he thought, wow, even the church is going against us.
Wow. And
this blew his mind and probably made him very sad. Okay. And, okay. Let's shoot down. Okay, and here is the mind which hath wisdom, the 7 heads or 7 mountains. I'm in verse 9, on which the woman sitteth, okay, in which this church sitteth. This church is also a great city. She's called a great city here too. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, the one is, and the other is not yet come. Now, the way this was described to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Okay, so there was 7 kings, right? 5 are fallen. That's Babylon. Let me see if I get this right. Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome. It says 5 are fallen. Pagan Rome. How does that work? 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. But when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Anyways, somebody deciphered that once upon a time. I think it was in Ivor's book, actually, that we don't no longer have.
It was stolen.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, and have received no kingdom yet, but have received power as a king 1 hour with the beast. And so, you know, the theologians have told us that this is none other than ancient Europe that was divided into 10 parts. And actually, if you look at the modern translation of this would actually talk about 10 divisions of the world. The world is divided into 10 regions. And so, you know, with all of the different alliances that are made. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. It's in a very populous area, okay? And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, he shall hate the whore, shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. There was a great war between the church and those nations in Europe at the time. They were constantly at war with one another. And anyways, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Okay, again, she reigned over the kings of the earth then, and she is gaining power to reign over them again, but now it's a little bit different. Now, the chiastic structure tells a story, then it backs up, retells it, backs up, and retells it. And so early in this chapter, we see where it literally talks about how this woman would be riding a beast, and that beast is none other nation, and that nation is none other than the United States. Now we get into Christian nationalism and where that dives into the picture, because Christian nationalism is a movement that's been rising in this country where the far right has taken the position that we are a Christian nation, okay? And they have taken upon themselves to force legislation that would enable Christianity to have its place, okay, in our nation. And that's essentially the short of Christian nationalism. Sounds very innocuous. Actually sounds like something I could get behind. Problem is, it's not. It's lamb-like. The beast is lamb-like.
Forcing you to go sun worship.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Okay, let's catch some of these comments. These we've been kind of delinquent here a little bit, guys. Sorry about that. I see it, Tracy. I've been reporting on a lot of events past week. There's definitely an increasement. Yes.
You gotta go up. You gotta go up. You gotta keep going up.
You don't want to read them backwards? You don't want to read them
No.
Okay. Okay, so Trish says, you are the expert at this. I've heard it differently, though, but you know the Bible. Trish, like Philip, we should always have hopes that the Lord will lead us out of danger and move us. I am wondering, the weather just changed this summer all over the world. Smaller clouds are dumping lots more water faster and with more destruction. And then Watchman says, New York is more than likely going to have an Islamic mayor. He is 85% likely. That will be interesting. New York will be to the level of having Islamic prayer in the courtyards, possibly. Wow. Now, some people think that the beast power that rises is actually Islam.
Oh, I see.
And so we see Islam kind of starting to take over a little bit. But if you read carefully, it's not Islam at all, because Islam never persecuted the Christians to the extent that this final beast power has will.
Rome killed the Christians.
Yes, conservatively speaking, even by their own accounts, it's over 50 million.
What was that? The Book of Martyrs?
Fox's Book of Martyrs is an excellent source for that type of.
And it was like, how many?
It doesn't record the amount, but it has many, many stories in there of the stories of the actual martyrs.
So sad.
I've read a few, and it's really heart-wrenching. Yeah, if you want a good read and a good cry at the same time, I would recommend Fox's Book of Martyrs.
It's almost like the Hitler thing.
Yeah, with the concentration camps. Yeah, that was terrible.
Desecration.
Just
killing everybody.
Yeah, total decimation.
Decimation.
Yeah, it's like, even during the Civil War, we did it to our own people.
Yeah.
Those concentration camps then were pretty bad.
And even where we're talking about the Civil War, brother against brother. Can you imagine?
No. I can't imagine. I can't imagine meeting my brother on a battlefield. That would just be terrible.
Would be.
I read a story earlier about, I saw a video actually of during World War I. The old timer was telling his story, the old World War I vet, and he was talking about how the Germans have overrun his position, and the German soldier had his bayonet pressed up against his stomach, and he closed his eyes and fully expected him to run him through with the bayonet, but instead the German put down his weapon and asked him for a cigarette.
Wow.
And they sat and smoked a cigarette. It's so funny because when you look at war and how terrible it is, there were those
moments. You
just have to realize that your enemy really is just somebody fighting for what they believe is a very worthy cause on their side. And it's just terrible, terrible mess. Reformation said it has been theorized that all of the false gods can be traced back to Babylon and Nimrod. Babel and Nimrod. Yeah, that's exactly. I think we brought that point up before. It can't be overstated. Really, Babylon is like the birthplace of all of these false religions and false gods. Trish in Progress, not an expert, just sharing knowledge. No, Reformation, I think you're being very, very modest there. You are very knowledgeable, and we really appreciate your input, like more than you can imagine. Tracy Brunson, extremely fast flooding storms all over the four corners of the earth, mass shootings increasing in frequencies, and have the four angels turn loose, question mark, and the four winds upon the earth. It starts small and gets bigger. Well, you know what? We have to wonder these things, don't we, Tracy? We're getting closer and closer. Everything is culminating, and the focal point is coming down to a tight spot. Now, when the Bible says, when they say peace and safety, therefore then cometh sudden destruction, does that mean there's actual peace and safety on the earth?
No.
Or is that just a cry for peace and safety?
It might be a cry.
That's what I'm starting to think.
And I was going to say, the shootings, there was one right there in Walmart. We had to call Walmart to see if it was open.
Yeah, that's right.
This guy committed suicide.
Yeah, we got to watch what we say.
Well, it's on the news.
I know, but they'll ding us for certain words.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the S word is one, unalived.
Okay.
Unalived.
But we didn't know if it was open or not.
Yeah, no, we didn't. And
it's horrible.
it is. It's these things are happening. Australia, you heard about the machetes?
No.
And the unaliving of all the people with the machetes?
No.
Now they're banning machetes in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just a terrible outbreak of madness. The Spirit of God has been grieved, and there's just a terrible rash of these things. All right, Reformation says it was the form of government of Rome, kingly. First one was kingly, consular, decemvirate. The fourth is dictatorial. Fifth is triumvirate. Sixth is imperial. Seventh is exarch of Ravenna. And 8 is papal. Interesting. Wow. That's cool. I might have to say that for later. Watch this as I see it, Tracy. I've been reporting on a lot of events this past week. They're definitely an increasement. America's in hindermost. Tracy says, howdy, Carrie and Lisa. Pulls all, plus all y'all on the chat now. Hi, Tracy. Okay, watch. It says Jeremiah 51:2. The foreigners will oppose Babylon on all sides as day of disaster. And by the way, you guys on the chat too, just be real careful on the words that you use. Now I went on the chat and I took all the discriminations off, I believe, because some people were complaining about the chat, like removing some of their comments. I don't know if that's still happening, guys. So I took all the discriminations off of the chat line because we use words here that would normally get dinged. But they will still ding comments and even the video for certain topics and word. No, don't worry about it. If it's used over and over and if they catch us, yes. If it just pops out of somebody's mouth occasionally, that's fine. But no, we've said those words before in the past. And they didn't catch them. So America will be filled with foreigners that oppose. Yeah, they will at first until they unite us all in a single mission. And you have to have an enemy. And we talked about Hitler the other day. I didn't get no dings. Hitler knew this when he united Germany against the Jews. And that's how he and against the foreign nations too that were, that were closing in Germany and taking away their prosperity that he had promised. And so Reformation said the 10 horns were divisions of Europe: Huns, Ostrogoths, Visigoths, Franks, Vandals, Suevi, Burgundians, Heruli, Anglo-Saxons, and Lombards. And some of those are the old ancient names. Some of you guys know those by, like, Franks would be France. Anglo-Saxons would be England. I believe the Vandals, the Ostrogoths, and the Herulites were all, the Huns would be like, I believe, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't say it. Anyways, you guys get the ideas. Back in like school, we would learn those things. Watch says Washington D.C. is just beginning complete martial law style tactics on the people. Well, they're making it into a police state. Really, is what they are.
Well, with all the illegals coming in, they wanted the votes for whoever they got control on them because they give them the health, like Medi-Cal or Medicare, Medi-Cal, and of course welfare, and then all those other programs follow it, and they have them. They have them by the nose, and they say, "I want you to vote this way," and they do, and they get their votes that way.
They get their votes that way, and they also get the confusion.
They do.
They get the anarchy that they're looking for, so that they can step in and become a police state, and that's really where, and if you can see the beginning or the end, then you know how they're gonna, and you see the beginning, then you know what the middle is gonna be, and so we know the end's gonna be total domination, because they're gonna force those who don't have the mark of the beast to not buy and sell. So it's going to be domination. It's going to be some kind of a...
you can only buy on Sabbath.
Possibly something like that. Yes, for sure. 100%. The reason why Lisa said that is because there's actually during COVID lockdown, Peru was opened up on Saturday to shop. And it was the only day that they were allowed to shop. Okay, so it's easy to see how this could all go down. Yeah. So 3 horns plucked up were the Heruli Vandals and the Ostrogoths. The fall of the Ostrogoths, 538 AD, was the start of the 1260 days. Interesting. Okay, that's a little piece of history I didn't know. I did not know they fell in 538. Wow. Okay, that's really cool. Tracy says, I'm not a 7-year tribulation fan or believer in a 7-year trib, but I believe the so-called last end of the days of the tribulation, so to speak, has begun in July or June this year. Come quickly, Lord God. I don't know where I stand on the 7-year. Haven't really gave it much thought.
What does that mean?
The 7 years trib, I think that's kind of borrowed from the secret rapture.
Oh.
And there's that.
So they're saying it's just begun 7 years. Okay.
Yeah. And they extract it from that prophecy in Daniel, the 2300-day prophecy, where it talks about a 1 week. And in the midst of that week would Messiah be cut off, but not for his people. And so I think that's where they get that from. And they kind of really butcher that whole prophecy to arrive at that conclusion. And I've never really figured out how people can really espouse that. Watchman says, Tracy, because the mystery leads us to even being at the end of the millennium. Heaven Soon says, hi, Watchman. Maybe DC is, but the people will create a vigilante movement to attack God-faithful people. That's right. I mean, that's what we're told in inspiration, and that's why I believe the Bible is leading us in that direction as well. It's not quite as clear as the pen of inspiration, but it's still there. Watchman says, Heaven Soon, that will be Matthew 24:10, where the brother is against brother and family members are divided and the economy crashes, and the final days which we are living for America. Okay. Reformation asked, did you see where the pastors of many denominations are saying that the only way to fix everything is to mandate Sunday worship? I did not. I would love for somebody to send me that link. I know I've been watching them on podcasts. I've been watching them on talk shows. I've been watching them on the news, little snippets here and there. Tucker Carlson had somebody on there that was bringing up the Sunday law. And so it's just, all these things are just, they're little snippets right now, but they're getting ready for something for sure. Watchman says, I've already looked into the intelligence on Putin and his coalition. Reformation, it's all over the internet. They even have the cryptocurrency ready to go by law in September, Heaven Soon says. Watchman says, the pastors are out of control. Reformation says, it's a shame that we can't use the correct term for things because people can't handle a dictionary definition. Instead, we have bleep words or use words that don't actually exist. I know it is. It's awful. And I hate shushing my wife, honestly. That's, but those words will get us in trouble.
What happened?
Oh, they're saying how we can't use certain words, because we'll get in trouble. Well, John the Revelator couldn't use certain words either. He had to codify everything he said back in those days too. So it's nothing new really. Watchman says, Carrie, you just have to believe in your freedom of speech and move forward. You can't let them put fear over you. No, I can't, but we can all understand code talk. You know, we can use words like unalive and things like that for now until the algorithm catches up to that. If New York gets this new mayor, I could see Trump infuriated that he would move federal troops on New York. Well, and that's the federal government taking over power. And here's the problem: is the mayor and the governor in New York both really are on the same side Trump is. They're just playing their little role. I mean, that's how I see it. You know, and you got Gavin Newsom saying if you send, troops over there, bad things are going to happen, and we're going to unite and collate against the federal government and this and that. And come on, it's rage bait. And people who take the pill or take the bait, they're missing out on actual prophecy. Okay. Heaven Soon says, what will happen to make them cry peace and safety? Could it be they believe Christ returned, but it's actually Satan impersonating Christ? That's a good point. Maybe. Okay, so let's imagine a scenario here, okay? Lisa brought up that object in outer space, right? Mm-hmm. Now, by the way, you know what they said that laser beam was? Mm. They weren't trying to laser beam the sun. They were extracting energy to fuel up for their next leg of the journey to Earth. Mm. And so, but if we have this invasion, right? Mm-hmm. But it's, instead of an invasion, it's Jesus, lovely Jesus walking out of the spaceship and greeting mankind. This is the second coming. Mm. This is all what we've been waiting for, folks. And now he says peace and safety. Peace and safety, folks.
Well, what happened to the rest of the, like Tracy was talking about, the four winds, all these things that actually have to come to pass. That's in Revelation. The grievous sores, the pestilences, and other stuff.
Yeah, the 7 last plagues will kick into full. That's what I think you're talking about here. Will kick into full swing.
And also, they'll say, Jesus is here. Come see him. Come. And then it says, don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go.
If he's in the desert, if he's in the secret chambers.
Don't go.
Anything secret's bad, guys.
Yeah.
All right. It makes it clear that time is not 7 years, but 1 year. I don't think the 7 years is biblical at all. It's a short amount of time. God himself says, unless those days be shortened, no flesh will survive. I believe Islam will play a big role in the state of Israel last days prior to Jesus' return. And Watchman says, no matter what we do, the days of freely chatting on YouTube are numbered. They will come in, and it will not be worth the time. What message could you transfer? Well, we'll have a radio station up and running by then, hopefully.
Maybe.
The FCC, maybe they'll drag their feet and it'll take them a little bit longer. Time of trouble literally means a year. Oh, the time. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Heaven soon. Thank you. That is excellent. I have never seen that before.
What?
Okay.
What is it?
In Revelation, it talks about a time, times, and a dividing of times, which signifies the 1260-day period, because a time is reckoned as a year. Okay. So you got 1 year, a time, and you got 2 years, times,
and a half,
and a dividing of times, which is a half.
So 2.5 years.
3.5. So you got 2, 1, and a half.
Oh.
So you add them up, it's 3.5. You translate that into days. The Jewish year is 360 days. That's 1,260 years. Okay? But the time, quote, 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 the time of trouble is a year of trouble.
Okay.
Excellent work, Heaven Soon. Excellent.
So we just need to put aside 1 year of stuff.
Sounds like it. 1 year. Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. As the day gets longer, the sun shines brighter. However they say that. It's actually the LDS would say that, but I like the statement. Mm-hmm. Time of Jacob's trouble is actually telling us how long the time of trouble is, because time is a prophetic word meaning year. Reformation concurs with Heaven Soon. Boy, you guys are so smart. AI companies already talking about buying Google, and YouTube is going to be controlled by it. So censorship is going to be pouring in next few months. Well, Yes, censorship, but something that's already started to happen to my channel, and many other YouTubers out there too. I've spoke to a few other YouTubers that are on, YouTube. Not so bad on the other platforms yet, but they just recommend you less and less and less, and you just begin to die slowly, and it just is not worth it anymore because YouTubers rely on their views. We must put that about the same time, Reformation. Watchman says, also Trump and his cronies are talking about banning people from filming with cell phones, police, when they arrest or get pulled over, giving the police complete control over video. That's going to be a bad day, because right now the videos are the only thing that's linking us to any kind of justice whatsoever. We talked about this, no justice in the land, and that's why Jesus will have to come again, because during the time of Nineveh, there was violence and a lack of justice. Watchman AI is being used to talk to the dead and interview them. Whoa. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so I'm just going to go back down the end. You guys are way ahead of me here. Trish, definitely not an expert, but okay, so. This one's a walk on God. All right, so anyways, yeah. So this is going to be a very interesting. What was that month that object was supposed to reach Earth? It was supposed to.
I don't know.
Like sometime in August, I thought maybe.
They said something about the earthquake and the under the water volcano right out of Oregon. They said that was supposed to erupt.
Mount Rainier is rumbling away. All kinds of bad things are happening.
Yeah. So,
it just harbingers. They're harbingers, Lisa. And it's right on the horizon. And these wokes, haters, and deep state folks are going to be jailed. Same-sex marriage is about to be revoked by Supreme Court judges. And America will burn in blue cities, and we flee to the countryside. That's not too far off the mark. Now, remember during... what was it? Well, let's use Hitler again. They went after homosexuals and they jailed them for their crimes, right? And they went after anybody that was espousing these types of things. And my wife want me to put you on camera, Lisa?
No.
What are you giggling about over there?
Nothing. So our youngest son contacted me, and he's really out there. I don't know, just reading his stuff.
Interesting. The Christians, believers in Jesus, we can't even... Oh, I was going to go back to that. Okay, so yeah. So these are useless... I hate to use the word idiots, but they're useless idiots, right? They're a force. They're an army that's used to get the ball rolling. Once the ball's rolling, those people have to be destroyed, because remember, those are the same people that stood out and stepped out in the beginning. Can't have those same people out there that are willing to get out there and protest and to fight, because they'll fight against the cause too.
Yeah.
As soon as they learn the truth. And they become combatants that are no longer necessary.
And the truths, these smooth and non-existent type sermons that are being held in a lot of the churches, and especially the other denominational churches, the people are going to get mad and rip them to shreds, aren't they, for not giving them the truth?
That's what we're told in the spirit of prophecy. Yeah. So the pastors out there that are preaching soft sermons will be held accountable by the people for their debauchery. And it's not debauchery; it's because the people having itching ears have heaped upon themselves teachers. That's what the Bible tells us. It's the people who wanted these messages, these smooth messages. The people could have approached the pastors and say, "Hey, we need some better messages. We need something that's going to punch us in the belly and make us think." But no, they're telling the pastors the opposite. Hey, you need to quiet it down a little bit. You're going to scare these new people off. How many times have you guys heard that before? You need to settle down. Yeah. You get too deep into prophecy, and so-and-so back there is going to pitch a a complaint, and they're not going to like it.
Yep. Wow. Where's Ricky?
Do you still have Sabbath school? Yeah, we still have Sabbath school. It's actually on Friday nights now at 7, at least for the time being. We are in a transitional mode, and we have just attended our Mount Ellis church for the first time last Sabbath.
A new church.
A new church. And we are hopefully going to have our own room here very soon to be able to reinstate the Sabbath school. And Ricky will be there, and so will everybody else. So, Reformation says, I've had friends do the same. You can't trust them. They can turn. I don't know, they're talking about something else. Do you realize, Heaven Soon says, do you realize how much we all enjoy our time together with fellow believers? It's such a privilege to meet here and share our thoughts and time. I totally agree. This is a time that I really look forward to, and I can't ever see myself not doing it, to be honest. Reformation says 2 Timothy 4:3, for the time shall come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall heap upon themselves teachers having itching ears.
Itching ears.
Not
2 Timothy.
Yeah, and not enduring sound doctrine is really the key part of that verse there. They don't like to hear the truth, so they want them to come up with something.
I have my Bible, and it's so thin. Like every time I see something interesting or something, but that I want to keep, like that 2 Timothy, I want to write that down in my Bible, but my pages are so paper thin. I mean, really thin. They're almost like rice paper. I don't know. And but I wanted to get one of those, I guess it's called spindle Bibles, and you can write across from each page. You ever saw that? You ever see that?
Yes.
I want one.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Maybe Santa Claus will bring you. No, not Santa Claus. Sorry.
Satan Claus.
Yeah. It probably definitely wouldn't bring you one. So, watch what it says. 1 Timothy 4:1, the Spirit clearly says that in the latter times some will abandon the faith and follow the deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. And that also goes along with those 3 unclean frogs, the coming out of the,
1 Timothy.
or the 3 unclean frogs coming out of the mountain. Oh, how's that go? Anyways, the frogs represent lying spirits.
Lying spirits, yeah.
And because of frogs' power is in its tongue. And so.
See, we are at the 6,000 year mark. We are there.
Yeah, that goes back to the millennial week we were talking about. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think Trump's next move is going to be? I mean, it's kind of interesting because even a lot of the conservatives are becoming unhappy with because of the war. Mm-hmm. I mean, they expected peace. They want peace. Mm-hmm. And so maybe that was the cry for peace and safety is at the beginning.
Is it going to be rumors of war, or do you think we're going to do another war? Have another war?
I don't know, to be honest, Lisa. If things break out with us.
Are those grievous sores some sort of, is that from the sun, or is that from like a nuclear fallout?
Well, people have surmised nuclear fallout, yeah, because of the way the plagues add up. Yeah.
And the sun says it'll burn you and
scorch man.
Get cooked from the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I don't know. I've always thought them to be of supernatural nature that God brings upon the earth. According to Daniel 11:45, he will come to his end and none shall help him. Okay? And so, do you think that time of that peace and safety was right around the time of the inauguration of President Trump? Because people were crying peace and safety during that time.
I know.
And then and since his inauguration, the whole world has gone nuts. So things have definitely been ramping up. Yeah.
Krampus is going to bring me a Bible.
Yeah. Krampus is going to spank you.
Yeah.
That's what Krampus used to do.
Those, they would hit and scare kids. Oh,
yeah.
Terrible.
And when that happens, The next thing is Daniel 12:1, when Michael stands up and probation closes. You know, and that is a lovely time, really, because he stands up for his people.
And you know you're sealed. Do you know you're sealed?
No, I don't think we do, because we go through the time of trouble. We're not like 100% certain or something. There's some doubt.
We're still soul searching.
We're soul searching. Well, a couple things, Lisa. We're soul searching. We're also leading a life that's without an intercessor at that point in time. Okay.
So we're gonna feel lost like Jesus did on the cross.
That's a good way of describing it, actually. Yes, Jesus felt like he was abandoned, but for different reasons, because he was bearing the sins of the world. Now, we're going to feel more like Jacob, though. Remember when Jacob was wrestling with the angel, and he was just so distraught because he knew that his brother was coming to kill him. And his brother, believe it or not, folks, is a type of Christ. Because Esau, absolutely. Now, the birthright belonged to Esau. It did not belong to Jacob. Jacob took it by trickery, even though God had promised it to him.
He was the deceiver.
He was the deceiver.
That's why he got a new name.
Yes. After he wrestled with God and after his confrontation with Esau, Esau gave him a new name. See, we're given a new name in heaven too after we meet Jesus. And so there's a beautiful story there that really needs to be explored, and that typology gives us little pieces to the story that we didn't have before. And that's why it's important that these typologies be read and understood very carefully. Now, when Esau was coming back, he was coming back with his armies with vengeance. He was not coming like a lamb, he was coming like a lion, okay? And he was going to come to destroy Jacob. But because of the promise that God had given Jacob, and Jacob had wrestled with the angel and had prevailed, it says. Now, why did he prevail against the angel of the Lord? Jesus, i.e. Jesus.
He made him bless him before he left.
He did. He did.
But his joint and his hip was out always.
Yes. He made his hip and his joint go out, which caused him a great deal of pain. But he still didn't let go of him. And he says, I will not let thee go lest thou bless me. Now, why did God not destroy him right then and there? This is a very important detail of the story. Because when we're going through the time of trouble, we must remember this. We must never, ever forget this.
He was distraught, and he was soul-searching.
He was soul-searching, and he demanded a blessing from Jesus because, and there's an answer for this, and it's because that God had promised him the blessing previously, and he knew he could get it. And so he took a hold of God's promise, and he did not let him go until he received the promise. Now, here's the interesting thing. Now, during the time of trouble, we are going to be going through that same distraughtness. But somewhere in our mind, we're going to remember back. But Jesus promised. And we're going to say, but you promised me. I will not let you go lest thou bless me. And guess what?
I don't want to be like John the Baptist, where I'm in bafflement in a prison.
And befuddlement. You know, he had his moment of weakness. He was every bit human, and that just reminds us of who we are too. Yeah. Even, you know, the man who Jesus called the greatest prophet who ever lived, John the Baptist, he doubted that Jesus, well, I mean, he says, is this the Messiah, or do we seek another? You know, go and ask. And so he needed that confirmation. Okay, so why do these comments end right after the broadcast? I like to go back to read scriptures y'all post and can't when these comments disappear.
Bummer.
Yeah, that's part of the live chat thing.
But you bring them up onto the screen, so they're right there.
Yeah, they're right there. But what he's saying is he would like to continue to comment in the chat afterwards.
Oh.
You know, because he looks up scriptures and he does a little bit more homework. And
then he just gets cut off.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And everybody's complained about the same thing. YouTube needs to change that. Because I'm thinking the same way. Okay, comments under the articles for Sunday sacredness are all for enforcing Sundays using Second Amendment rights to enforce the issue. Whoa. All right.
Go up one more.
No, I'm going to reread that one. Just a second here. And then we'll go up one more. Here, I'll go up like this. You can read that one. Comments under the Articles for Sunday Sacredness are all for enforcing Sunday using Second Amendment rights to enforce the issue. Now, in case you guys don't know, in case you're from a different country, Second Amendment is our right to keep and bear arms and to form a militia. Now, that's an interesting statement, Heaven Soon. And now we're told that these actions will mostly be illegal. The enforcement of the Sunday law will mostly be illegal.
I didn't know that.
And it will be, well, they're going to be fighting for legislation, but they might overrun and usurp the authority of the state and just go ahead and seek the lives of us anyways, because they get more and more angry with us all the time. And this is during the time of the 7 last plagues, the great time of trouble, calamities, just terrible, terrible things are happening on the earth. And the wicked are getting more and more and more angry with us. And of course, we've fled into the wilderness to seek shelter, and God has prepared for us a table. And we've talked about this before. And so that's a super interesting thought. I'm going to have to really ponder on that, because, the Second Amendment is the one thing that has been keeping our religious freedom here in America thus far. As soon as it disappears, it will take with it religious freedom. But under the guise of religious freedom, under the guise of Christian nationalism, under the guise of bringing this country back to its former glory, it's going to be the Second Amendment. It's going to be the good old boy movement. It's going to be the country folk. It's going to be the patriots. It's going to be the ones who stand for the flag, the ones who back the blue, the ones who, support our troops, the ones, you see this theme building, right?
Yeah.
And here we are opposing all of these things, and we're labeled as one of those evil people that eat veggie meat. And
I don't eat veggie meat no more. It's got DNA in it. I gave Carrie a carrot hot dog. He didn't like it. He complained the whole time.
I did no. Wait. The carrot hot dog. Listen, we're going to do some cooking classes with Lisa, and she said, "I'm not doing cooking classes, Carrie, until you paint my backsplash of my kitchen and make my kitchen look halfway decent first." And I said, "Okay, Lisa, we'll do that." She cooked some really cool things, man. It was a veggie hot dog made from a carrot. I know you guys have seen those online. And
I've made corn butter too. Cornmeal butter.
Cornmeal butter. She's made a lot of really cool stuff.
Milk.
Now she will tell people literally, "I'm not a very good cook. I'm not a very good cook." People come to our house, are like, "Whoa," they're blown away. She'll make them this great big sandwich with everything but, the kitchen sink in it. And so Jacob wanted reassurance that he was forgiven and accepted by God.
Yes.
That was good. Carrot hot dog sounds great, Lisa. You know what? The only flaw tonight was that they weren't quite cooked enough, because they felt like a hot dog when you had them, but they were still too crunchy. But the flavor was a hot dog. Yeah. If I have ever eaten a hot dog before, it was just like a hot dog. All right, so we're going to have some cooking classes hopefully soon. So you guys tell her you want a cooking class. Maybe some of you guys don't.
We'll make Carrie go on and taste it. He tells it all in his face. He's like, "It's so good." He wears his face well.
I wear the answers on my face.
Yeah, you wear the answers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll know if it's good or not.
All right. Watchman says, "I think cashless system would be what they would use to enforce the Sunday law." Well, they're getting there. They're getting there.
He was talking about baptizing these robots. Go up.
Oh, really? Baptizing robots, huh? Wow. Okay, we got to read that one. A little comedy relief by Watchman.
We may be needing to get ready to baptize some robots.
Maybe needing to be ready to baptize some robots. Oh yeah, water and electricity don't really mix, does it? Okay. Heaven Soon says Trump tried to keep the cryptocurrency out of the bill in Congress right now, but the House added it when they sent it to the Senate. It's to pass in September. You know, they always, Trump is not the hero like we all think he is. I mean, he has every bit been groomed and, for this stuff. Reformation says men will devise in council and plan what they will do. The whole world keeps Sunday, they say. And why should not this people, who are so few in number, do according to the laws of the land? Last day events, page 136.
Now, aren't all those people or presidents, aren't they all related?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have,
lineage.
Every one of them. Yeah, that's right.
So when they're saying they hate the other one hating the other one, probably Trump is related to Biden and Hillary and all that. So.
And even the movie stars.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the movie stars too.
Watchman says, heaven soon. Trump uses sleight of hand. He wanted it to go through. It went through, and he said he didn't want it to go through. They understand the psychology. Yeah, that's total psychology. It's just playing tricks with our minds. We're the sheep.
Well, they openly make fun of us on the TV and on the talk shows. They think it's great fun to do that.
Who, Adventists or just?
No, just like
Christians?
Talk shows, like they were talking about Pizzagate and stuff like that, right on TV. I go to Jennifer Aniston's, or whatever. She makes the best pizza and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, no, that's what you meant.
And I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, the pizza parties.
And they laugh about it.
Yeah, we have some great orgies. Pizza parties.
Oh, it's just so sad.
It's more than just sad. Yeah, it's God will judge. Every secret thing will be proclaimed upon the rooftop.
And secret things are evil.
Anything secret is bad because God is anything but secret. Reformation says if you are in America and have been for the last 100 years, you are all related. Well, look, we're all related. We all go back to Noah. We all go back to Adam and Eve. We likely all go back to Abraham.
About the presidents is what she's going at on that.
Yeah, when we made the comment that they're all related.
Yeah.
She says if we've been in America for over 100 years, we're likely all related. Yeah.
Related to Pocahontas.
Yeah. Well, we were looking at Lisa's, possibly because you were Shoshone and Blackfeet. And so it's very likely that, the Hidatsa's tribe was a part of the Shoshone Nation.
Yeah.
And that's where Pocahontas was taken, was right there at that Three Forks confluence down there. And she was brought to the Sioux Nation where she was then sold or traded to
the Frenchmen.
Yeah. And Charbonnet.
That's it.
And then later they would meet up with her brother again when the Hidatsas would save them from certain starvation.
Which was in Three Forks, Montana.
Which was right there in Three Forks, Montana as well.
Yeah.
So, very interesting history on Lisa's part.
They have a statue and a big giant hotel. It's white and it's called the Sacagawea. And across the street there's a big old statue, and Carrie says, "Oh, she looks
white."
White
like, features.
She doesn't look native at all. Yeah. So I don't know.
Sacagawea might have looked just like you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that could be your great 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 grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What did I say? Do you mean Sacagawea? Yeah, and it's actually pronounced. It's actually probably pronounced Sagagaway.
Sagagaway, yeah.
Yeah, which meant little bird. She was skinny.
That's what they said. That's how to say it.
Yeah, Sagagaway.
Sagagaway.
We think it's coming in fast, but God has a plan, and Trump is being used, unfortunately, not to our benefit. Yeah, well,
We saw that coming, like a slow traffic accident.
Yeah. Is Donald Trump the world's final trumpet, sounding off the entire world? Donald means ruler of the world, and it's now the end of days, uh, as we've
We
all
all know
known them
them already.
already. Well, they have said that Donald Trump is the trump of God.
But the trumpet is going to be, we're going to hear it worldwide, and it's going to be God's trumpet, not the trumpet from, not Trump, a name.
Well, yeah, exactly. To your point, Lisa, I think the trumpets, the seven trumpets they'll fall in line with the seven last plagues and the 7 seals. They all have, remember, chiastic structure. You have to like really group those all in, and it sure makes things a lot easier to understand when you do that. Instead of being linear, they're just versions of the same with more detail.
Yeah.
Because the seventh trumpet is the second coming. The 7th seal is the second coming. The last plague is the second coming. That ought to tell you something right there. So Russia's already talking about making a highway to Alaska. Oh, that'd be interesting. He's going to make a big old bridge across that ocean. The bear is coming for the Kodiak. And, the Russian bear is coming. Yeah, okay, got it.
Yep.
And the rest of the nations have to deal with the typical storm violence, the typical storms, violence, crime, economy crashing as well. I think for America right now, people in Alaska should be concerned. I don't know if I'd want to be in Alaska. I really wanted to for so many years. Watchman says, we think it's coming in fast, but God has his plans. Trump is being used, unfortunately, not to our benefit. Okay.
I was looking in Harmon, Alaska.
Homer.
Oh, Homer, that's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of alcoholism and drugs.
Lisa speaks a language I only understand. She's
Yeah, Carrie comes from a long line.
Okay. So Heaven Sue says their weapons will fall powerless as straw. We will be hunted because they will blame us for the plagues. Okay, and that's
that's right.
That's exactly right. Okay, that's during the great time of trouble. Reformation says it's exactly 40 days from tonight to Rosh Hashanah, the Israelite civil New Year. It's exactly 40 days from tonight to Rosh Hashanah. Hope I'm saying that right. The Israelite civil New Year.
Isn't tonight the meteor shower?
It is.
Yeah.
Folks, tonight's the meteor shower. You got to look outside. They said
Already, huh?
Yeah,
this
that's
morning.
Yeah, that's the meteor shower.
Wow.
It's already started. It's supposed to last for 2 days.
Oh, cool.
But they said because of the way the moon is, it's going to kind of like wash a lot of it out. So you guys will want to go outside. If you guys got a clear night sky, you really want to hit it like early in the evening. They said.
Oh.
They just say the last trump. Yeah, so not the trump of God.
Okay. The last trump.
Yeah, well, I heard it like the trump of God.
Like when Trump goes something big.
When Trump does or goes something.
Like when Trump goes.
Well, he might have meant does. Like when Trump does something big.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
My whole head hurts. I have the flu. This is my second day. I feel like I got my nasals are plugged up and my whole head is pounding.
But you feel better today, hopefully. I know you were had a terrible headache yesterday.
Oh, I had a horrible one. I got sick, not physically, but I got motion sickness just driving home. So it was horrible.
Yeah, and what was it, like a week before or 2 weeks before is when I had my terrible headache.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of weird sicknesses going around too. That's the thing is we never know what's going to hit us next. And of course, the chemtrails are ever present. Several states
everywhere.
have banned them by now. I don't know if you guys have heard that. They've I think it was Tennessee was one of them, and I forget. It might have been Ohio or something was the other one that has banned them.
Wow.
Heaven Soon says they are all Rothschilds.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and that goes back to the Zionists and the Zionist movement and how they believe they're going to take over the world. And really, it's not a Zionist movement. Really, it's a movement embodied by the by the church and by the elites themselves. And they can call themselves whatever they want, but they're not taking over the world. I can promise you that. That's one thing we know, folks, is that Jesus is coming soon, and he will set up a government, a kingdom that will last forever, a place where we can leave our doors open with all of our valuables inside and never have to ever worry about it, and a place where we will not have the curse of this earth land upon us. We will have a place to grow a garden, and the deer will not eat our carrots and our potatoes right down to the nubbins like they did ours this year. And they're such cute deer. They just blink those big, enormous eyelashes, and it melts my little heart.
Oh,
and I says,
we see so many dead on the road, and I have to turn away. It's very sad. We saw a fawn this morning. It was so sad.
And that little buck, I started to talk to that little buck out there in our garden. He was walking towards me.
Yeah.
Like he was my pet. And I says, you little turkey. Now, and I throw rocks at them, and that might sound mean, but the problem is, the danger is if when they have no fear of humans like that, they just instantly die during hunting season.
Well, in a couple months.
Yeah.
September.
And so it's kind of sad, like almost like it pains me, but I throw rocks at them, and I try to instill a little bit of fear into them. And of course, come hunting season, we don't want them acting like that either, because they'll just be instant lunch. And, and there's, my son is in the next room laughing. There is some benefit to hunting, and it's not all bad. Mm-hmm. If we let the deer population run out of control, then predators will be rampant, and also disease in the deer as well, and that's a terrible way for them to go.
North Korea, Kim, is also on standby during the summit for Putin's protection. Yep. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. North Korea is going to back Russia.
Oh, boy. He's been itching for a fight.
Well, Kim Jong, everybody's posturing for power. I think all of these different nations are ran by different demons, and the different demons they don't agree. Jesus himself said, a kingdom divided against itself shall not stand. Like
Stalin and Hitler. Mm-hmm. They didn't like each other.
No, but they were allied there for a little while during World War II. Hitler made a really bad move by going against Russia. Yeah. Those people are tough. And I think Russia broke him. Yeah. I think it really broke him.
Well, they ran out of fuel.
Oh, they froze out there in those winters. Mm-hmm. And their army was divided. It was just so many bad things that happened. That was a turning point for Hitler at that point. And, the Germans are tough people too. But they didn't have the knowledge of those winters when those winters struck, and they didn't have the ability to keep things going like the Russians were. That was just another day in the office. Mm-hmm. They just have, but we know some Russians. We just got through doing a job for them, and they're just such wonderful people. Yeah, very hardworking. Very committed to family. And in fact, I think the offer still remains by Putin to accept Americans into Russia.
He'll put me on the front line, though.
Yeah. Well, while the war is raging over there, they'll definitely put us on the front line.
I don't want to be on the front line.
Well, all you got to do is just get a Purple Heart.
A Purple Heart.
Or whatever they call it in Russia. Purple bottle.
Drive a tank.
The purple bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think everything's wrapping up. I see so much evil, and I have my son that's contacting me, and it really saddens me that the condition that you could fall. And being someone in my own family, and to see how far they've rolled away from mentally and physically is very sad. And I could kind of empathize with people out there that are like a little loose in their mental thinking. I feel for that, but I hate to say it. There's a lot of mental people out there.
Yeah, I was just talking about that earlier in the live, because, these mass.
Oh yeah, well, that suicide or that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff.
You know, you never can tell. You never can fully look at someone and see if they're all there.
Yeah, so Watchman says also as Putin
What happened?
also as Putin comes into the summit, he knows that Trump has just delivered 1,200 fighting vehicles to NATO Poland, that he's going to have a front with America if this starts. Not good.
Okay.
Not good. And this may be the great time of trouble beginning. If Tarshish is the region where NK is, then NK will only watch as Russia and the Middle East makes their move.
Wow, so much stuff is happening.
Yep. People have made up their minds. The lines have been drawn. Only a few will be swayed to the truth as events wind down. That is why God makes his return when he does. Okay.
Yeah.
As these things take place, remember for the increase of iniquity.
Many will wax cold.
Because of the increase of iniquity, the love of many will wax cold. Yeah, that's right. And that's really what this is all about, is just us making up our minds. Trish says some might be attributed to psychotropic meds, just an opinion. Many of them, if not most, if not all, have been attributed to psychotropics. And we know quite a few people on psychotropics, and it does change your behavior. It changes your mind. It changes everything. And I think they are some of the most evil. I got to watch what I'm saying. Look, maybe they've helped some people. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I really don't know, but there is a definitely connection between those.
We don't know much about medications.
No, but there's definitely a connection.
Yeah.
And they hand those things out like candy. For every little ailment. I mean, they really are pushing the psychotropics, the pharmaceuticals. Trish, and the pharmaceuticals only have so much backstock. The trade with China is broken.
Oh.
So then people are really going to go nuts when they don't have them.
Oh, okay.
They're going to lose their minds. Be like the old berserkers. That was a barbarian tribe, by the way. Did you know that?
Berserkers?
They were called the berserkers.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
You can imagine how they probably behaved.
Yeah.
That's why they've championed the name berserk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we should call it a night.
I've got like a whole bunch of other things to talk about. No, just kidding. Yes, maybe we should, folks. We're kind of winding down here a little bit, so we've pretty much said everything we're going to say tonight. But thank you so much for your guys' great and wonderful comments. I've learned a few things tonight, I'll have to admit. And the time of trouble, the year of trouble, that's really how that's translated. The year of trouble. It was just right in our face the whole time. I never seen it before. Reformation says barbarians were actually a tribe too. That's right. They called them. You know why they call them barbarians? They're a little factoid you probably don't care about. Barber. That's right. They had long hair. Yep.
Frizzy hair.
Probably dreadlocks. Probably unkept with bird nests in them.
Bones in their nose. You know how they always say that our ancestors looked in the caves and.
Yeah. Well, primitive man has always lived side by side with sophisticated man, or modern man, and so the notion that we came from apes is just another one of those lies that they've tried to put on us. And going off the meds is worse than alcohol withdrawals. Ask me how I know. Well, praise the Lord, you're not on them no more, Trish.
That's right, Trish.
I think we talked about that a little bit.
And I had once been addicted too.
Yeah. Well, but you've never been addicted to these modern ones, though.
No.
Yeah, those were the old school codeines and.
Yeah, codeines.
Yeah, at least I had a terrible accident once upon a time.
Oh, and I loved morphine.
Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, so, all right, folks. Well, God bless each and every one of you guys. Thank you for being the best part of Prophecy Montana. Hit us up at prophecymontana@gmail.com. We're not currently giving out any books just right now at the moment, but we will resume that here in the near future.
I might buy a couple of those spindles, is that's what they're called, Bible spindles.
Mm-hmm.
They're individual books. Some have 2 or 3 books in them. And you can write on the other side. I just saw it on my Facebook.
You'll have to show me.
Yeah,
That
we need to
sounds really
buy
cool.
some.
That sounds really cool.
Give those out so people can write.
Okay.
They say when you see, when you hear, and when you write, you're able to remember.
Okay. You're putting it in 3 different locations in your brain.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, Carrie.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. All right, folks. Well, God bless each and every one of you guys. Good night. And you guys have a real blessed rest of your week. We'll see you guys Friday night, 7 o'clock, Mountain Time, in the PM.